Hello, it's Mary Maple from thrivewithmary.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk with you about using puppets in the online classroom. I will tell you why we use puppets and show you some of my favorite kinds. But first, let's take a moment to talk about why we use puppets. When we have a puppet, we are able to relate to a child in a non-threatening way. Remember, these children are across the ocean. We are very new. It's possibly the first time they've seen an American, and they can be really shy when they first see us. So pulling out a puppet or a stuffed animal helps to break the tension and the fear that they may have about interacting with you. Puppets can also help demonstrate dialogue. So often when we are first starting with a new learner, they will simply parrot what we say. I can remember one of my very first learners, and I would say, "Hello, my name is Teacher Mary." She said, "Hello, my name is Teacher Mary." She had no idea what the words meant, but she did a really good job of repeating. So it can take a little bit of time for them to understand dialogue, that you're saying something that you're asking them to respond to. So when you have a stuffed animal or a puppet, you can demonstrate that dialogue with the stuffed animal. Puppets can help make vocabulary words more meaningful and understandable. So if I show something to my puppet and the puppet's not sure what it is, then they're not afraid to be unsure of what it is. If I have the puppet repeat the word, then they feel more comfortable repeating the word too. If they are having a difficult time with it, if I show the puppet to the correct pronunciation, then the shy student is less likely to feel intimidated, and they will follow very carefully what it is that I'm saying and asking them to do after I've asked my stuffed animal or puppet. So one of the things when you are looking for a puppet, it is important to choose one that has a personality that you can relate to. I'm sure when you see puppets, there are some that just grab your attention and others that really don't do much for you. For that reason, I like to have a couple of different puppets on hand because there is a whole variety of personalities in my students. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I play with, and then you can start to think about what would be the best for you in your classroom. First of all, what I want to say is, as a new teacher, I don't want you to go out and spend tons of money on a puppet. Okay? Demonstrating dialogue can be really simple by just making a face on your finger and letting that be the puppet. Okay? So one of my students prefers this. She makes a face on her finger, I make a face on my finger, and we chat away, and it is so much fun. It's better than any puppet to her. So don't think you have to spend tons of money for that. And also, when you are traveling and teaching and you don't have room to pack up all your props, the finger puppet, literally the finger puppet, can make a world of difference. Also, I think I got this at Michael's. This is simply a ring that fits over my finger. Instant puppet. Okay, it's got the eyes, your hands can be the mouth, and you have an instant, simple, easy, funny puppet to play with. So you can see your finger or any stuffed animal around your house can serve as your puppet to demonstrate dialogue and to interact with the student. Remember to play with depth, play with your voice, and have fun interacting and establishing rapport. You can even ask your student to bring out their stuffed animals so that your puppet and their puppet can talk back and forth. The more you can engage props from their world, the more meaningful the experience will be. So I often have my students find their favorite toy, stuffed animal, or puppet, and we can dialogue back and forth. When they play with their voices, they're developing their range of sounds that perhaps are less familiar to them, and it is easier for their puppet to make a mistake and be corrected than sometimes for them to do so. However, if you are looking for something beyond the stuffed animal that's in your home, I highly recommend finding a puppet whose mouth will open and close. This is my go-to puppet that I used in my intro video. I really like the long sock on this. I like that it's colorful because I can multitask it by teaching colors on this. I call this guy Ozzy. I like that he's kind of wild looking and a little monster-like. It's a theme that kids can relate to. As I said, I like that the mouth opens. I like just the movement and feeling, and I can relate to the character of this puppet. This puppet can be shy. It's okay, Ozzy. It's okay. I'm scared. Or he can be curious. Or this puppet can be bold and angry. And so the way you move in and out of the camera and use your voice can bring a lot of character to it. And, one thing that I'm not a puppeteer. I'm not familiar a whole lot with how to precisely make a puppet look like it's speaking, but I do know that moving in and out with when you're talking, rather than just a bunch of this, which doesn't sync to the syllables in the word, is better. So try each syllable to have an up or a down, just like our mouth does when we're speaking, and it can make a big difference in the authenticity of the puppet speaking. So this is Ozzy. I have another puppet that I rely on a lot. It's quickly becoming one of my very favorite puppets to use, and it's this dragon. And this dragon has something that's really, really unique. So along with its mouth opening, it has a stomach. So I love using this when food is involved in my lesson, and even when it's not. So dragon, doesn't really have a good name yet. I just call him Dragon. Likes to eat. Now this is a pretty big piece of watermelon. It is foam. Ah, it went into his stomach. The kids love that this puppet's stomach grows when it eats more food. And I'm just going to keep filling it up so you can see how much can actually go in here. So right now it has ice cream, it has watermelon, it has a banana, it has a pear, it has strawberry. Okay, it's starting to get pretty full, but you can see that its stomach is growing. There's still more room in there, but it can hold a lot in its stomach. So it can be used as a reward, when you do a good job. The dragon will eat something. So what I like about this puppet, not only that it has a stomach, but its mouth is softer. So when we looked at Ozzy, you may have noticed that the mouth does not change position other than open and closed, where the dragon has much more of a flexible mouth. I can curl its lip in, the bottom lip can come over the top lip, the top lip can come over the bottom, it can go to the side. It becomes a little more conducive to showing proper mouth positioning when teaching words and pronunciation. Not a perfect, but it can help. It's like if you're saying teeth over the lips to make the V sound. V, 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 v. You can help the puppet to do that. So again, I like the softness of this, and the kids really, really love my dragon. We were talking about how each puppet has its own personality, so I'd like to show you my owl puppet. And I really like this one. It's, in comparison to the other two, relatively small. Doesn't go all the way down my hand. Probably, more of a child's puppet, but it works fine. It does fit my hands. My fingers go into each of the wings. This is a really good puppet for a shy student because the wings of the owl can help the puppet hide so they can enact the shyness that the student is portraying to you. And you can slowly say, "Oh, hello there. Are you hiding? Can you say hello? I see your eye." And slowly this owl can come out and take a peek. And the child that is shy will want to come and peek with my owl. So this is a really this puppet really embodies the shy personality. It can also, in other lessons, demonstrate flight. It can be talked about in terms of being a bird in the birds and mammals group. I like the softness, I like the feel, I like the personality that this particular puppet portrays for me. And while sticking with the bird theme, I really, really like my kestrel. And this one grabs students' attention because it's a bird that can flap its wings and fly. When we are talking about birds, we can talk about the beaks, we can talk about the feathers, we can talk about the tail. This is great for colors. And I used to be the adult coordinator of a Young Birders Club, so this was in my toolbox for them, and here it is coming in handy. I also use this when I teach for OutSchool, because I teach a group of young birders how to identify different birds, and this is an American kestrel. So that is another bird puppet. Talking about birds, I have this whole array of different Audubon birds. So birds are a great way to talk about colors. This is the goldfinch. Let's see. The blue jay. These each make sounds, although some of them are a little more worn out. But I often use my Audubon birds as a reward, but also to teach about colors. So those are great options. Then I also want you to remember that VIP Kid has an online store where they sell the dinos, and they also have a dino puppet. And at least all the younger students really, really love dino, and they probably have a dino of their own. So if you can only choose if you can only choose one puppet and you're trying to think which one to go, I would go with like my dragon because of the stomach features and the soft mouth feature, or with dino. Dino is an excellent addition to the classroom, and if I really had to pick, I would definitely have dino over any other puppet, but I may choose a dino doll and a different puppet, as a combination. So dino is available. I like that he's soft. I like that he can also be shy and stick his head out and move easily. Dino comes in many forms. There's big dino. This is a plush dino, so it's not a puppet, but you can treat him like one. Also in the store are the Meg and Mike dolls, and I really like having them as well. And I have Lee from the China unit in level 1. So these are great because the kids are seeing Meg and Mike throughout all the lessons. They're great for teaching pronouns. So she, he, it, we, they. They're also great when you get to this shirt, that shirt. You can teach all the pronouns if you have a few props. Last but not least, I want to show you my dollhouse family. I really like this little set. They're by Hapa, and they are about 4.5 inches tall. Well, maybe the elders in the family are maybe more like 5.5 inches. There's a mom, a dad, brother, sister, baby, grandma, and grandpa. And I like that they're flexible, so they can, if I'm teaching sit, they can sit on the dollhouse chair, they can stand, they can be used on other props. So she rides a bike. This is just a 2D printed out bicycle that I laminated, and she is able to ride that quite nicely. She can ride my animals. She is great, as are all the dollhouse dolls. And I highly recommend that because family, is a big theme explored throughout the units. And in a way of talking to them, do you have a sister? They don't know what a sister is. A brother, mom, dad. It just helps build rapport. And, the younger kids in particular, the girls, but the boys too, like to play with dolls. And so this is you entering into their world and playing with them, whether it be with the dolls, the puppets, or some other toys. Remember, for the boys, And again, I don't mean to say only boys, but Transformers are a really big deal with a lot of my boys. For both boys and girls, the Paw Patrols, they love that. And of course, my girls love the Disney princesses. So if you have any of those things, you can use it as a prop. I mean, heck, you could draw a face on a banana and use it as a puppet. So enjoy finding what puppet works best for you, but definitely get something in easy reach that you can pull in when you need to have that third person interacting with your student. So you can demonstrate the conversation, you can engage with them if they're hesitant to do so, you can engage with the puppet first to help them relax. And you can have so much fun. It is a way to keep their attention on the screen and on you rather than looking elsewhere. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can be reminded when I post a new video. And be sure to check out my other 2 prop-related videos. I have one just on whiteboards and another one covering all the other props that are not puppets or whiteboards. And also be sure to check the links below. I have a link to my website where all my props are listed, and it tells you where I purchased them so that if you wish, you can find them for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and come thrive with Mary.